Mr. Brandt, thank you very much for an opportunity to speaking to you and the Bvlgari in Baselworld.
Thank you very much and most welcome here at Bvlgari booth.
Mille grazie. Bvlgari recently reintroduced the Diagono Magnesium, the concept watch and successor of Diagono Aluminium since 1988. How does the timepiece intervene the modern spirit and Bvlgari's DNA?
So, I would say that, and you know perfectly Bvlgari, I would say that Bvlgari, of course, historically, is a jeweler, as you know perfectly, no? Bvlgari today ranks among the 2-3 most highest brand, top-end brand, luxury brands in the world. But this doesn't mean that Bvlgari avoids technological innovation, and I would say also an audacious, bold approach of the watch. You mentioned aluminium, late 90s. Then came out also carbon gold, which was a combination of polymer and gold. Today we come with a Diagono Magnesium. Diagono Magnesium is the perfect expression at Bvlgari of the boldness of the brand, you know. Beside high jewelry and very high-end mechanical complicated watches, we can do both. We are not a single watchmaker which is handcuffed, condemned to do only, let's say, classical watchmaking. I would add that as an Italian brand, combining the Italian spirit with the Swiss expertise, we are very open and free to create whatever we want, which is very often distinctive and very different.
As you already said, Italian spirit and Swiss watchmaking. So, what is the inspiration behind? And maybe there is kind of combination of Italian spirit and the Greek origin.
So, of course, as a very ancient brand, we have to respect what we name our DNA or codes, okay? But Bvlgari is very contemporary as well. We are not stuck to history and neither stuck to, let's say, a dusty old classical approach. As I said, we are very bold, so we reinterpret, re-express every day in terms of creativity what is part of our history and patrimony. Diagono Magnesium, to revert back to that piece, is a perfect example. And just to underline, we announced last Wednesday the partnership between Bvlgari and MasterCard with the famous concept watch we launched last year, the Intelligent Magnesium, which will allow you to pay as a credit card, to pay with your watch worldwide. So on one hand, very high jewelry pieces, you can see a lot here around. On the other hand, we are super contemporary and really linked to high technologies.
Wow, that's impressive. Congratulations on that. And as you already mentioned, actually, one challenge or maybe one novelty in the Swiss watchmaking or in watchmaking industry general is digital connected watches, smart watches. So how would you describe, on the other hand, the soul of the Swiss watchmaking industry? What are the challenges? How do you see it in the future and maybe a high watchmaking luxury industry?
So for me, there is one key word, which is emotion. You know, today, the watch or the wristwatch function is not the same than it was before the digital era coming out. At that time, the function of the watch was clear, indicate what time it is today. today we all have digital phones, cell phones, okay? We all have a car displaying what time it is, more precisely even. So the function of the watch has changed, has evolved, so that today a watch is first of all not anymore really a functional object. It's an emotional object. So emotion is the center. Linked to emotion, of course, design as well. Why that? Because you have hundreds of brands, thousands of products every year. You have to find a way to propose new watch creations which are distinctive. And the key is when you are in a restaurant and you have a look on the wrist of someone at a close table, the challenge is to say, look, he has a Bvlgari or she has a Bvlgari. If this happens, the product, the creation is a success, clearly. The soul of Swiss watchmaking is emotion, which is a key. And regarding Bvlgari, of course, we have a big chance, which is the combination and the blend of an Italian spirit brand with the Swiss watchmaking expertise. There is no other brand at the top of the pyramid, let's say. There is no other brand which offers such an explosive and very original combination. And if you have a look to Bvlgari products, watches, whatever they are, ladies, men's products, they are always different. Any brand will say it's different. I would add it's not true. But in our case, clearly, it's very different due to that combination.
And how would you finally describe, maybe point out some novelties of this year? What is, you already say, someone in the restaurant is wearing Bvlgari. What kind of persons are addressing these novelties?
Okay, in terms of novelties, we have many things regarding ladies, regarding men. Let's consider, for instance, that one here, which is the new Serpenti Incantati. You know that the snake figure is the sign, the symbol, and the property of Bvlgari. Typically, you are in a restaurant, as you mentioned it, you see a lady wearing a Serpenti. Instantly, you will know it's Bvlgari, okay? That year, we launched Serpenti Incantati, which gives a new dimension to the snake theme for us, which is already super strong, but it gives a new dimension to that figure, thanks to a brand new design, which is a reinterpretation of the snake figure. On the other hand, here we have the Octoline, that one, of course, which is very strong and which is a very good example of our approach and of the blend of the Italian spirit on one hand and the Swiss watchmaking expertise on the other. Consider any, let's say, classical watch displaying hour, minutes, seconds. It will be always round-shaped. Ours is not round-shaped. It's neither squared. It's a combination of the round shape and the square shape. And the final result is an octagonal shape, like that one, which is also a signature for men, like Serpenti can be for women. When you see that on a wrist, you know instantly it's an octo, so that it's a Bvlgari, which is the target and the aim of the creation.
Going back to Serpentine ladies' watch, as you mentioned, what is the mix of materials?
We have a wide range. We go from the coiled steel gold, plain gold serpentis around the wrist as a bracelet, to the high jewelry serpentis, the secret watches. You can open the head of the snake, which are inspired by the late 50s, early 60s serpenti creations. And in between we have different executions. We launched this year also a coiled serpenti in ceramics, very flexible, which is a highly technical challenge. Of course, metal is flexible. Ceramics, it's less flexible, but we succeeded to achieve that flexible ceramics bracelet. And this is also a kind of expression of Bvlgari's ability to combine history, patrimony, and the high-tech and contemporary materials. So this serpentine cantati is priced at 210,000 euros for a piece of art, of course, combining the haute horlogerie, the top-end Swiss watchmaking expertise. It's a tourbillon skeleton movement, which is made of gold, then hand-finished totally, and the jeweler's art, I mean the stone, the diamonds around the movement which compose the snake figure.
And finally, can you share with us the message that Bvlgari is delivering in Baselworld 2016?
Oh, good question. I will give you a very good reply. A lot of emotion.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you. Thank you.